Can I shoot a 900 rated round in disc golf? Today I'm going to be doing the Flight Deck Flex. This is a PDGA C tier Flex tournament at Kaposia in St. Paul, Minnesota. My goal for the tournament is going to be +8, as that is what is required for a 900 rated round, and this would also put me in second place for the tournament. Starting off on hole 1, I had this putt for birdie. Which I missed and took a par. Then on holes 2 and 3, I had a par and a double bogey. On to hole number 4, a 355-foot par 3. Bad drive, and then I had this to save the par. Missed that and took a bogey. Then on to hole 5, another bad drive. And an even worse approach. Left me with this for par, which I missed. On to hole 6, 526-foot par 4. This approach shot for birdie. Parked it. On the hole 7, 384-foot par 3. A nice drive. A little bit off the fairway. But I was able to get it up to the basket with this putt for par. Hole 8, a 490-foot par 4. An absolutely awful backhand drive. Another bad backhand shot into the woods. And I had this tricky line. Another bad shot. And I decided to go with a tomahawk here to try to get up there to save bogey. And it worked out well. And I had this putt to take the bogey. On to hole number 9, which was a combination of 2 holes into a 600-foot par 4. A decent drive, and my second shot ended up here. So this is my third shot, trying to get up to the basket to par. And this one wasn't the best. Left me with this to try to save the bogey. Which wasn't too bad. And I was able to put it in from the trees. Hole 10 was a 515-foot par 4, and I had a bad drive and a not so great second shot. So I was left with this approach shot to get up to the basket for a par. And I left it a little bit short. And this putt for par. Which I missed and took the bogey. So I could only afford 2 more bogeys with 8 holes to go, and onto this 500-foot par 4, where my drive was not ideal. And my second shot led to this approach shot to get to the basket to save par, which wasn't perfect, and I missed the putt and took a bogey. So on to hole 12, which was an uphill par 3 with a mandatory, and my drive ended up down the hill but still in circle 2, and my putt ended up right underneath the basket, and I took the par. So I was at +7 with 6 holes remaining, which meant I could only take 1 bogey. And hole 13 was a fairly straightforward hole, but I shanked the drive and had this approach shot, which gave me this putt, which I put in for par. So on a hole 14, which was 290 feet downhill with the basket off to the right, and my drive was short and to the right, but I still had a putt from the woods for birdie, which I missed and took the par. That brought me to the longest hole in the course, hole 15, a 680-foot par 5 uphill and technical, but I had a good backhand drive right where I wanted and had this second shot, which ended up a little bit farther right than I wanted. And had a decent approach shot for birdie. So I had this putt, which snagged a tree branch and left me with the tough putt from a knee, which I nailed to save the par. So hole 16 was a tricky 262-foot par 3, and my drive wasn't great. It ended up on the left side in the woods, and I had this scramble shot to try to save the par, which ended up pretty good. But I went right off the top of the basket and I took a bogey. So hole 17 was an open 496-foot par 4, and my drive was overall pretty good, and I had this approach shot, which got a nice tree kick and roll right towards the basket, left me with a 15-20 footer for the birdie, which I missed and took a par. So it all came down to hole 18, 400 feet, par 3. I just need to get a par to get the 900 rated round in second place, and my drive ended up in the trees. So I had to scramble for the par. And my shot wasn't the best, but it ended up in circle 2. Now, my circle 2 putting this year hasn't been amazing, but surely I could hit one circle 2 putt to get the 900 rated and second place. So I failed that goal, but ended up +9, which is 895 rated round, and was third place in mixed amateur 2, so overall not bad. Also, shout out to my friend Ashley for recording all these video clips so that this video was possible. Finally, shout out to my sponsor Goliath Discs, and you can use my code CAMPY for 10% off on all of your orders. Thanks for watching. See you next time.